Okay, I don't feel like typing the story about the panties, so I'll just tell you, and then somehow I'll put this video on the thing. So, this woman goes to the ticket windows to pick up her tickets or her VIP package for Paul McCartney, and we didn't have it, and the people at the window don't know how to look up to find out, why she doesn't have it. So they just kind of send her away saying, you don't have a VIP package. There's nothing we could do for you. So she comes into account services, where I'm kind of the unofficial manager for the night. And she is talking to one of the workers, and she's telling them, that the people at the windows don't know what they're talking about, which kind of they don't. And so Mike looks up her order, finds her VIP package, and that it was returned. And the reason it was returned was because the show wanted them returned, that she wasn't allowed to come to the show or whatever. So I'm like, I don't know why they returned your tickets, but let me go talk to Marty, and maybe he can let me know. So she's already very agitated and like angry and pacing and kind of like almost crying. So I go to Marty, and he says, oh yeah, she's a lunatic. She can't come in. She's apparently stalking Paul McCartney, and she's throwing things at him. So she is banned. She can't come in. So I come back. So now I have to find a way to tell her that she has nothing. She can't come in. So, and by the way, she paid $2,000 for a VIP package. So I come out and I tell her, unfortunately the show returned your package because of an incident that occurred at one of his previous shows. And unfortunately, they're not allowing you to come to this show or any other shows. She's like, well, fine. If I can't do the VIP thing, then just give me my tickets and I'll go. And I said, you don't have any tickets. You don't have anything. And so she starts crying. And she's like, fine. Well, can you just give him something for me? And I'm like, we really don't have a way to get things to him. We don't have a way. She goes, okay, listen. So she writes a thing on a piece of fabric and wraps it up in lace, and she's got scissors in her bag, and on top of this she's got like 2 backpacks, a cinch sack, 3 purses, and many bands in her hair, and no shoes on. She's not wearing shoes. So she says, give this to Cindy. She's holding a thing, and she says, give this to Cindy. Cindy will give it to Alice, and Alice will give it to Paul. And I said, who's Cindy? I don't know who Cindy is. She goes, Cindy, she was just here. And I was like, oh, wait, like our security guard, Cindy? She said, yes, give it to her. I said, okay, but you know what? You don't need to yell at me because, I don't know. I just said, you don't have to yell at me. And she goes, you're a bitch. Fuck you. And she threw this wad of fabric at me. And at that point, another coworker came over and kind of intervened and escorted her out and kind of kicked her out the door. Well, I go later to see what this thing is that she threw at me. It was all wrapped in lace, and I opened it up, and it was her underpants. And she had written on the underpants, I'm so hurt, I wish I could die. And that's what she threw at me. And that's the pictures I sent. I sent those pictures to you guys yesterday. And then, so I go to show, talk to Marty about it, and the woman, Jen, who kind of brings the shows in, she took my picture with the underpants, and she had also sent 2 packages to Sir Paul McCartney via Marty Maloney. Excuse me. And inside of the packages was dirty socks. A skirt, garbage, a wrapper a toilet paper roll, a dirty napkin, and like oils and ointments and all sorts of shit. So we just Drew went through that this morning and ended up throwing it all away. But yeah, she threw her underpants at me to give to Paul McCartney. Oh, and earlier she threw a fit with a security guard because the security guard wasn't letting her in, and she sat herself down on the ground. She was wearing a short skirt, and the security guard noticed that she wasn't wearing any underpants. So it's very possible that the underpants she threw at me were the ones she was wearing all day. And I held them in my hands and posed with them and showed them to all my coworkers. So I'm going to get finished drinking my Di Serono and crochet a blanket, I guess. I'm lonely.